wonder why women go to the ladies' room in groups and in pairs? That's because the ladies' room is the place where we feel comfortable being vulnerable. It's the place where we strategize and we support each other. I'm Roxann Smithers. Welcome to the ladies' room.
Where do women go for honesty, strategy, guidance, and inspiration? Welcome to the ladies' room. Hosted by Roxann Smithers.
So today, I am so excited to welcome in three amazing women, and we're going to be discussing authenticity, bringing your full self to the table. And that is absolutely something that is important that we need to do as we venture out into the world to take over. So today I have with me Ashleigh Thomas. Ashleigh is the owner of 4C Empire, an online distributor for Black-owned goods. I've got Dr. Tamara D'Anjou Turner. She is a psychologist with Powers Ferry Psychological Associates. And I have Sibyl Slade. She's a vice president and financial advisor with Life Plan Financial Advisors. I want to thank you ladies for joining me today. And on this episode, we are lounging in the executive lounge so that we can keep with our ladies' room theme. Thank you all for coming today to join me for this great discussion. How are you all doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
So as we've discussed, and the idea of this conversation and this show is that we want to create a place for Black women as business owners and as executives to be honest about our victories, about our challenges, and about our experiences as we navigate this world, right? We are all powerful. We are all doing amazing things in our areas, but we don't always have a place where we can really just kick back, be honest, and have true conversation. So that's what we're going to do today. And with our theme, authenticity, we are definitely going to have an amazing conversation. So I'm looking forward to learning some stuff from you guys because I know you all have wonderful information. So in the same vein, we have all gone through fields, particularly Sibyl, where the default position is the white guy, the white man. So I've decided we're gonna call him Beauregard, okay? We're in the South, right? So Beauregard is the name that we're gonna use. And so I wanna talk about those moments where you're in a situation where that's the vibe in the room. It's heavy Beauregard. We've all been in those rooms, right? How do you handle that? How does it make you feel? Tammy?
Well, I'll jump on Ashleigh's comment about the hair, for instance, right? So like, I know for me, when I was in a director's position, I actually felt like I needed to present a certain way, right? So I had my hair straightened all the time. You remember, I was natural.
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
No, it was the best kept secret in the office.
Exactly. It was like 10 years into me being natural, and my best friends were like, wait, you're natural? And it was an indicator to me that I was trying to play this game and present a certain way and making assumptions about what that meant about, even the people that I work with, right? Like, the truth is, I didn't even actually give them a chance to have a negative reaction or reject me in that way, And a lot of that felt like it was the conditioning from childhood all the way, through. And so in that sense, I had to kind of take ownership over the fact that I did have a choice, right? In other senses, there are certain ways that you got to play the game that feel a little bit unfair with Beauregard, right? Like, sometimes you feel like you've got to do certain things. You've got to laugh at people's, jokes and, or you've got to drink on the weekends with them, become a drinking buddy. And it doesn't really feel so great.
You have to care about college football very oftentimes.
Yes. I cannot tell you how many times I just watched like 5 minutes of ESPN. And I could go to the meeting the next day and talk about football. And, but yeah, I mean, there's a cost to it. So to the other point Ashleigh made was the fact that when you're not living according to your values, there's a huge cost. And I've found over time that when you let go of that, you're actually able to give more into the work that you care about. you have more energy for it.
Yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because when I was, we're thinking about these topics, one of the things that stood out for me was that time period before the meeting starts, where everyone's filtering into the conference room or whatever, and the small talk is happening. And it's the golf talk. It is the, SEC for the South. It is the bourbon. It's maybe the boat or whatever. And you're either trying to find where you can fit in because you got a stat because you watched a little ESPN, you watched, you watched Sports Center for 10 minutes so you could throw something in there. Or do we try to bring the things that we're interested in to the room? Or do we just automatically assume that connection isn't there? Right. Or were there ever times where any of y'all tried to kind of interject yourself into that room and steer the conversation to something broader than those topics? Or do we usually just go along with that?
I think I started out that way of kind of following, Rome, do like the Romans. But eventually I realized that people were actually interested in learning more about me. I actually intrigued them for whatever reason, because I think my dad was the type of person, he made you look at a person in the eye and speak up and talk about whatever. And so I was one of those people that all of the CEOs I worked under, they knew me by name, because I would go have a conversation with them. Most people would shy away from that because I wanted to know who am I working for. So I would bring up conversations. So versus them having all the questions trying to get to know me, I would flip it back and say, and what about you? And so I think that really built my confidence, where I was able to just do it all the time. And people wonder, well, how you go? It's because I got to know them. I was interested too. I was genuinely interested too. I want to know who am I working for. I want to know what are they interested in? Are there things that I could do, ideas that I could bring to the table? So I think when we move away from the role-playing piece and just really try to be authentic, I call it go under the hood. Michelle Obama said that. I stole it from her. It's not mine. It's not mine. But, going under the hood with people, that's when you really start connecting, right? Then they start looking out for you after that, because they know you got the same ideas, the same core values. I mean, I can say I had an accelerated career in corporate. And it was with someone who did not look like me.
Right.
3 of my presidents would call my line for what they wanted. And whoever I reported to wondered, why didn't they get that call to have that question answered? It's because they knew they would get that real answer for what they needed.
Yeah, you're bringing yourself, and you are giving them the credit that there's more to them as well. And having the opportunity for those unique surprises. And I'll say on that same vein, I actually do enjoy golf. And I was in this golf tournament. I say in many ways, you look at my resume, I'm an old white man in many ways. Golf, the private club, all of that stuff. Tennis, the whole shebang. So our foursome fell apart. We were going to go out and play. And so there were only 2 of us left. And I think we were both nervous about the 4 hours of spending that day together. It was a gentleman, he was about 65, older than me. And we were both apprehensive about what are we gonna do for 4 hours playing golf if it's just the 2 of us. It's 4 people, you've got more buffer. So we just decided we'd have lunch. I think we were both thinking the same thing. We didn't voice it. So it's like, let's just have lunch. So we sit down to lunch and he takes the bread off of his sandwich and he goes, oh, sorry, I'm doing this eating program. And it turned out we were both doing the same eating program. And all of a sudden, this guy becomes like my weight loss buddy. We're trading recipes. And it was, he actually brought his authentic self to the table. And instead of just having the standard conversation, he talked honestly about something. And we had this thing in common. And for years, we were trading, well, how many points is this? And what's this? And how do you do that? And we developed this bond. And it was a credit to him to bring his self to the table. You're just uniquely surprised in that situation. So I think you're definitely onto something when you leave room for their humanity as well. Yes. Absolutely.
What's funny to me, and it's not funny, sometimes when I look at some of those posts, I know the backstory.
Right.
But it looks fabulous. Your IG is fabulous, but your life is really not fabulous. And that's a little sad because people then try to compete against something that doesn't even exist.
Right.
and they're feeling they're not doing anything right when you might be the one that's doing all the right things. You just don't have these pictures.
Well, I just want to thank you ladies so much for this conversation. And where can folks find you? They're looking for you.
So you can find me two ways. You can find me at sibylslade.com, or you can find me at lifeplanfin.com.
All right.
So I am at atlantapsychologist.com.
Straight to the point.
And on all the social media handles for the culture. So it's the number 4, THECULTR, for the culture. So that's Facebook, fortheculture.com, Instagram, Twitter, you name it.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And I want to thank everyone for joining us in the ladies' room. You've gotten a little bit of a tidbit in what we do when the ladies hit that room and we strategize together. And we look forward to inviting you back to the ladies' room.